Hi, I'm Alex and this is Tank Tested. Today we're going to hear the origin story of Aquarium Co-Op. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because I do stuff like this as often as I can. Now, here's Cory of Aquarium Co-Op to tell you his story.
I'm Cory from Aquarium Co-Op, and
you may or may not have seen us online. We started out as a little fish store in the town of Edmonds, Washington. Got online, started making some videos, and now we're a little more popular. Easy to take care of, and that's why they're one of the most popular fish in the world.
A buddy got me into my first aquarium. I was 23 at the time, which a lot of people think I've been into it forever. Turns out I'm only 36 now, so only 14 years. I say only, it's getting longer and longer. But as I kind of fell down the rabbit hole of breeding fish and being part of the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society, everyone kind of kept asking me, why don't you open your own store? Like, you could do bigger and better things.
And you stumble forward a few times and you're here where I am today. And I'm a hobbyist first, and then I would say an educator and presenter and business guy second, and I hope it stays that way.
We really had to battle the city of Edmonds, and that was because there's not really laws that go for a pet store. If you're going to open up a restaurant, they know exactly how the drains have to be. But in a pet store, we wanted to do it the way I wanted to do it, and that was automatic water changes and things like that. And so I remember having meetings with the city planners, and no one would sign off. They were so afraid that we were going to do something wrong and they would get fired over it, that it kind of came down to this unwritten, you need to build it, and then we'll take a look at it. And if it works, we'll sign off. If it doesn't work, we won't.
Hi everyone, this is Cory at Aquarium Co-op. It's the 31st of January. What we're looking at here is the stands. You can see they go all the way down the wall here.
But if it doesn't work, I have no more money to rebuild. Like, this is a one-shot thing. And they were like, well, that's what you got. You know, and at that point, other tenants were like, yeah, we've been fighting them for a long time. Like, there was a gym next door to me, and all they really wanted was a shower. And they would never allow them to put in the shower. And so their business would never really thrive. So I was super scared. I was already signed into a lease for years. So there was no going back of, like, if I don't open up a pet store, I still have to pay rent on a space. I can't open up a pet store. So it was only full steam ahead, and we build it, and the building inspector walks in and he saw all the natural hardwoods we'd used, sustainable lumber and all that. And he goes, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this place at all. Signs right off, we're done. So the design of the store, I knew I wanted to be built out of hardwoods, and I wanted it to look good, but it was really hard to convey to someone what my vision was. And so I scoured the internet for days, and the best builds that I had seen were elevating the hobby and not keeping it sterile, whereas like a chain store is more like a sterile vet office. We wanted to bring it more of a homey feel, like you'd be proud to have this in your home. We knew we had to build these vertical stands that no one else was really doing, and we'd have to stay in it, and the woods made sense, the nature aspect. It was hard because we needed to look good, and we had no budget, so like all of our stands are 2x4s that we hand sanded and then stained, and we polished, and we put $700 of work into each 2x4 with our hands, but it's still just a 2x4 at that point. And then we spent the money on some of the live edge maple on the counters and all that kind of stuff. So the first month we opened up was April 2013, midway through the month, and we had to basically push the doors open. We were out of money. Could not be more out of money. We would run out of tanks. We'd run out of lights to put on tanks. We had one wall. The one main wall is all we had. We were there 6 days a week, and the 7th day we would continue to build. So we would have the store open, close down one day, get the tools out, build the next thing, clean up all the tools. It'd be a 14-hour day, and then get up and get ready to meet the customers the next day and sell them fish. The first month we were ever open, we did $10,000, and at the time, that was like winning the lotto. That was more money that I had ever had like in my bank account. And the next month went well, and the next month went well. I was like, I think we're gonna do it. And we were able to kind of focus in more on what our mission statement was, and that was a sustainable fish store that paid a living wage, that was eco-conscious, had organic products, because it goes towards our mission statement of sustainability. And we have this big placard in the store. It's a hand carved sign from Sustainable Maple locally that says enjoy nature daily, and I was 100% behind this. Meanwhile, I had no money, so we had to go and buy all the fish from the wholesalers personally. I couldn't chance they'd come in sick and die. I didn't have the money. And as we kind of built up these stockades, it got easier and easier and easier. I was able to hire my first employee, and then we were able to get a second employee. And about when I had that second employee, so I had one full-time and a half of a guy or girl, I was thinking we need to grow this more. And then I was like, well, we're gonna have to get onto YouTube, and we started doing that. And I ditched YouTube. So I ditched YouTube once, actually, and it was a 6-month spell where we put out no YouTube videos. We came back to it, and I was already at 4,000 subscribers. Wait, people are watching this even though I'm not around. So then the new home, which everyone can see today, it's got the studio. I documented building it because I had never seen anyone document building a fish room at that point, at least in video. Some people have done it on forums and that kind of stuff. So I document this thing. Today, we're scaping the 800-gallon aquarium. We've got Jimmy.
What's up, everybody?
Oh man, this is great. Look at the clown loaches. They don't even know what to do. And momentum kept building up. I would just have these long days of basically I film, it's an hour-long episode, and I'd be like, yep, I was in the fish room, I went to the store, I did some things, and people seemed to love that. And so from there, it just kept building this organic kind of thing. I want to show you my new Jedi trick. So I can make the tiger barbs follow my hand. It's pretty much the coolest thing I do all day now. And then I realized, hey, this is actually working out pretty good. We're making more money in the store, and I decided I could sell online. I remember the first product we ever listed online was a bottle of Prime, and I only had 3 on the shelf, but boy howdy, I had 3 for sale in the store and 3 for sale online. And we sold those out in the second week, 3 bottles, and I had to order more. And then customers were super angry that I'd be out of stock in the store. And I was like, okay, gonna have to order more Prime. And I just took it 1 product per week. That's all I could really do. I was building the website, and as I got better at that, the workflow got easier. And eventually we had an assortment. We were moving maybe 20 or 30 packages, a week. I was gonna say a day, but it took a long time to get to that point to a day. And so we had an employee who was kind of handling online, but they also had to work in the store. And as YouTube kind of did better, we'd sell more, and then we tried to sell fish, and that was a disaster, only because we sold out the entire store, and then local customers were very angry again because we had nothing to sell. Now we're kind of this bigger corporation with 15 employees, and not that we're a big corporation, but we're much bigger than 2 people in a local fish store. We've got a lot more influence. And now we're trying to harness all that power into what can we actually make a positive change. So yes, sustainability, all that's still on our forefront mind, but can we use what we've got? And what I try to say is the will of the people. I try to connect with you guys and do live streams and just, what do we think as a group? What are we trying to change? Do we like this filter? Do we like this type of fish? Do we believe we should be doing this sustainably? Is this bad for the environment? And then hopefully take our bargaining power, our buying power, because you guys buy from us and we buy from them. And if we can threaten to take the money away if they don't do it sustainably, then they're forced to listen to us. We choose what we want to keep. And even our mascot, it's a Mabu puffer, and it's wild caught, and it's from Africa, and it gets to be a very big puffer, and it's a huge responsibility. But it's a great teaching tool on this big fish, live plants, small fish, all that type of stuff, all together as one, and we use it as education. But when it comes to sustainability with products like plants and fish, it goes, there's, no matter what, when humans start interacting with nature, there's good things and bad things, and even things we think are good turns out to be bad. Things we thought were bad were good. In general, I want sustainability. So we personally won't buy, for instance, any Buse plants that have been taken in out of the wild. Same with Anubias, same with African ferns. There's a lot of stuff that you can get, but you can't get it sustainably. We want something grown at a farm. Now, everything had to come from the wild at some point, right? And I'm not saying we shouldn't collect out of the wild. We need to do it sustainably, though. When you can understand how a planted ecosystem works in your aquarium, you're much more likely to make a better educated decision when it comes to environmental issues and things like that. Whether you agree or disagree with whatever the issue is, if you better understand it, you make a better informed decision. And so that's kind of where we're transcending from. We want to do a good fish store to now we want to do much more global things, and we worked on a lot of projects, and we hope to do more with that. And the more we explore the world, the more we learn, and the more we can bring back to you guys. And it's kind of this vicious circle of, I go out and find something, I document it, you guys watch it, you buy something from me, that money gets fueled back into the next trip. So that's kind of that long story, and hopefully you guys are either already supporting us or will support us in the future, and we can bring more stuff to you.
Cool. Thank you so much, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe while you're at it. I also want to thank Cory for lending me some of his time and letting me film in Aquarium Co-op. It was an incredible experience. And finally, I want to thank my Patreon supporters. Trips like this to Seattle are funded in part by you guys, and without your support, videos like this couldn't exist. So thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.